Call to session is a regular session mayor city council meeting at 6 p.m. Wednesday, February 7, 2018 here at City Hall Complex. Actually, it's more like 6:35. And this we have actually was we'll have the call to order and the pledge and hopefully the invocation. If not, I just want to let you know that instead of going to call to the public right away, we are carving up a couple of items, taking them, we're going to deviate a little into the Nogales housing because it's recommended by them to keep it separated from the regular city agenda. So we'll do that to comply with their wishes. And so right now, if you'll all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Vice Mayor, will you lead us in the pledge?
Yes, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have the person that was going to give the invocation here tonight? So crowded I can't see. If not, we'll take just a moment of silence in each one in your own faith and belief. We'll just take about a 10-second moment of silence. Amen. Okay, you may be seated. We're going to go ahead and go to those two items, deviate, and then we'll come back to call to the public once we do that. And those two items, they're under executive session. So at this moment for NHA, I have a motion to go into executive session. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. No nays? Okay. Motion carried. We'll go into executive session for 10, 15 minutes. We're not going to be long. It's not like those executive sessions where they're going to be late. So if you'll bear with us, we'll be out shortly. tabled, and we're going to orders number 2, consideration and possible action of order 2018-02-011, order of the Council of the City of Nogales confirming and clarifying organization of the Nogales Housing Authority. And we have the amendment that goes along with it on the hard copy. So, Mr. Mayor, I have a motion to approve that order.
So moved.
Okay, you have a second?
And
Yep.
Mr. Mayor, this particular, I request a roll call vote.
Okay, all right, we will do that. Any added discussion to that? Okay, seeing none, we'll start with Mrs. Robinson. We'll start with a roll call vote, starting with the mayor. And I vote yes to approve.
Mr. Maldonado?
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Robles?
Aye.
Mr. Varona?
Aye.
Mr. Hanacion?
Aye.
Mr. Diaz?
Aye.
Okay, I guess everybody is in favor, seeing no nays, motion carried, and that takes care of the NHA part of the business. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? None? Motion carried. NHA meeting adjourned. And now we can go back to our regular line of business here of on the regular city business. Now, we were left at call to the public. We didn't have any items on call to the public on the NHA, so we're going to go to the city version part, and we'll start with call to the public. We had some that they bury them under here. Okay. Thank you.
Right there.
I got him. Yes, and we'll start with Mr. Manuel Bonoran. If you'll take the podium and state your name and address, and go ahead and speak your concern.
Okay, Manuel Bonoran, 693 East Furnace Road. Pleasantly surprised that we got some information on the Peña Blanca Islands sewer line. We do have some concerns. Stated that, the staff stated that it gets checked every once in a while for leaks. Since June, it's been covered with sand, so there's really no way of telling. Late June 2017, I discovered it was leaking. The wash was completely dry because of the no rain, and sewer water's ponding adjacent to the line. I contacted ADQ. They didn't make it down till after the first monsoon rain, July 2nd, so they could not ascertain that it was leaking. I'm sure that it is. I like to see this move forward. One of the concerns I have is chasing a grant. To what point are you going to chase a grant? This is a 100% city cost problem. There's a window when you can do the work, and if you don't jump on it, we're going to be in monsoons again. What's out there is very vulnerable, likely to fail. It's lucky it hasn't failed. It has failed in the past. It's lucky it's going to fail again if it stays the way it is. These are slip joints, which was always contrary to the specification of the day when it was installed. The specification calls for restrained joints underneath the waterway. These joints have been jostled around and banged around by the floods. They've been separated, they've been put back together by the city numerous times. They're called slip joints because they slip. There's probably more than one joint out there leaking now. My family owns wells within 300 feet of this contamination. There are 10 other wells in the immediate area. Every time it leaks, the city never advises anybody of the problem. I'm glad to see something happening. I just don't think you can wait to chase some grant down for something that I first reported to the city in 2013. It's been 5 years. It's been, you had 30% plans in January. You have 100% plans now, ready for construction. It's a city problem, caused totally 100% by the city. Should be fixed. You're putting people's health at risk. You don't know if it's leaking or not because you can't see it. The next flood comes through, it'll expose all the line. It also doesn't meet the standards back then and the standards now. No restrained joints. It's in the scour zone, which is the area below the surface where the water, the sand, and the rocks all move during the flood stage. It has a giant concrete encasement because they recognized it was in the flood zone, in the scour zone. This encasement is acting as a dam. It creates localized scour, and it's diverting the water to the sides. So now that part of the wash is significantly wider than other parts of the wash. And it's headed towards people's houses too. Not just wiping out the sewer line down there. But there's been numerous breaks in these 5 years and leaks. I've had the county health department verify that it leaks, but nothing gets done. And now we're going to chase a grant. Time's going to go by, another year will go by, and maybe it'll weather another monsoon, maybe it won't. And there's plus or minus 10 wells in the immediate area that are vulnerable to being polluted. And nothing's been done in 5 years. And I think you owe it to those people to jump on this, get construction started, and get going on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bonoran, for that report, and we will look into it. Make sure that we get a report on that. We have another item here by Mr. David Allen Moore. You will take the podium, sir, and just give us your name and address.
David Moore, 670 West Pennsylvania Drive, Nogales. I'd like to be heard when the item comes up. Is the item up? I'm new to this. Sorry.
It's actually the item should be coming up in a bit. It's you know, it's not too far away, probably time-wise. Hopefully within 20 minutes to half hour of time. But that's in the consent agenda. And let's see. Let me look at this. Actually, well, we could probably actually be there in about 15 minutes, I guess. So I don't know if you want to discuss it now or wait.
I can wait.
Okay.
That's all right.
All right. We'll go ahead
Okay.
and when the item comes up, you can. But then again, it's a consent item. We don't know unless somebody pulls it out for discussion.
We can do that, man.
Okay. So apparently we have a councilman that will pull it up for discussion. You're good. You're good.
Okay.
We'll go next speaker's forum. Call to the public is Francisco Stelo, I believe, 935 North Silver Load Trail. If you'll take the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Yo soy Francisco Castelo y vivo en 935 North Silver Load Trail. El motivo de mi visita aquí es porque quiero solicitarle a todas las personas que están aquí que atienden el asunto de salud pública que si hay regulaciones o las regulaciones que haya que las pudieran aplicar lo mejor que se pueda, en el sentido de que Nogales veo que está se está contaminando mucho el ambiente. Y luego, por ejemplo, ahorita el ambiente está muy caliente, con eso el cambio climático. El punto es que en el mes de diciembre yo me enfermé mucho de los pulmones y parecía que tenía resfriado, pero no era eso. Entonces, yo hice una observación a mi esposa acerca de que miraba que el clima y el ambiente estaban muy contaminados aquí en Nogales. Y después que yo hice eso, pasaron unos días y empezó a salir en el radio un spot que dice el spot dice que Nogales estaba contaminado y estaba en un grado como morado o algo así el color para saber nosotros el grado de contaminación. Ahora sale otro donde dice que aquí en Nogales dice que puede afectar la contaminación del ambiente a las personas, pero dice no se preocupe, hay una aplicación en su teléfono que le va a decir el grado de contaminación. La razón es que esa situación no arregla a nosotros y a toda la gente que enferma la polución en el ambiente. Entonces, si está en sus manos poder ayudarnos a nosotros los habitantes de Nogales, que las regulaciones se cumplan, porque yo sé que Nogales, Arizona, y yo a este pueblo, pues yo lo aprecio mucho en el sentido de que es un pueblo chico y es un pueblo limpio, pero del otro lado viene mucha contaminación ambiental, y eso nos va a ir alcanzando poco a poco a la salud de la gente que vive en este pueblo de Nogales, Arizona. Hay mucha contaminación y cada vez va a ser más. Entonces, nada más, si ustedes pueden ayudar, pues, para que la salud pública sea mejor en ese sentido. Nogales es un pueblo chico, pero sé que hay una unión con Nogales, Sonora, y si se puede también solicitarle a la autoridad mexicana que las regulaciones ellos las cumplan en ese sentido, porque estar enfermos pues no es bueno, y menos del sistema respiratorio. Pues le agradezco su atención.
Gracias, señor Marcelo. Vamos a ver qué podemos hacer con eso y por lo menos bajar y que nos dejen más información en el tipo de contaminación, si es que afecta la salud, porque sí tienen máquinas que están monitoring 80AQ, hacen monitor, tenemos diferentes agencias. Vamos a agarrar un reporte y a ver qué va a pasar. Gracias. I guess that does it with a call to the public. We can go into discussion items, but I don't know if Mr. Velasquez is here at this time. He is. I'm going to go ahead and you know, since I got a couple of items here that I want to read that you brought forth, if I got them right here, and when I'm done, I'll hand them to you. And again, I want to thank Mr. Velasquez and everybody involved with him. There's so many different agencies and groups that he does work with. First things first, and I guess you could name them right now you want to kind of name those groups, but we're all working together. The city's committed for the educational purpose of our youth. We want to make sure they do have a big jump start on their future education, which means preschool on to K-12, so that when they either stay or leave in Nogales for future studies, they'll be well prepared. And to continue with it, I've got two proclamations that we're working together, and again, this is out of Mr. Velasquez's office, doing a great job for the whole county and the city of Nogales. And it's a proclamation, read on, Santa Cruz County Week, February 26th and March 2nd, 2018. Whereas the citizens of Nogales, Arizona stand firmly committed to promoting reading as a catalyst for our students' future academic success, their preparation for careers of the future, and their ability to compete in a global economy. And whereas Santa Cruz County School Superintendent Office has provided significant leadership in the area of community involvement in the education of our youth, grounded in the principle that an investment in early literacy is key to the community's well-being and long-term quality of life. And whereas Read on Santa Cruz County, an early literacy collaborative will focus on increasing grade level proficiency, promote reading as a critical pillar in the education of our community students. Now, therefore, I, John F. Doyle, call on the citizens of Nogales, Arizona, to assure that every child is in a safe place, reading together with a caring adult the week of February 26th, March 3rd, 2018, that the mayor and the Nogales City Council enthusiastically endorses Read On Santa Cruz County and recommits our community to engage in programs and activities that ensure when Arizona's children read, Arizona's children, they thrive. And in witness thereof, I have set my hand on it, signed, and I'll go to the next proclamation because they're both from your office, Mr. Velasquez. And again, this proclamation is Early Childhood Education Awareness Month to raise awareness of and build public support for the importance of early childhood development and health. Whereas early childhood years are when the brain grows and develops the most. In fact, 90% of a child's brain developed by the age of 5 before they enter kindergarten. Whereas scientific research has shown that a child's experiences in their early years affect how their brain develops. Research has also proven that kids with quality early childhood experiences do better in school, are more likely to go to college, and have successful careers. They also tend to be healthier and demand less from the public welfare system. Whereas the goal of Santa Cruz County Superintendent Alfredo, is that an I, Alfredo? Alfredo I? Velasquez, is to raise community awareness about the work that the Family Resources centers in Nogales, Rio Rico, and Patagonia do. The mission of the Family Resource Centers is to help families in Santa Cruz County prepare their children for kindergarten. They provide free services that include referrals for services, parenting education classes to improve parents' relationships with their children, activities for parents and children, a safe, fun place for families, and special events for the whole family. Whereas several entities working together for February as Early Childhood Education Awareness Month are Santa Cruz County School Superintendent Office, University of Arizona Cooperative Extension, First Things First, Family Resource Centers in Nogales, Patagonia, and Rio Rico, City of Nogales, Santa Cruz County, Nogales Unified School District Number 1, Santa Cruz Valley Unified School District Number 35, Patagonia Public Schools District Number 6 and 20, Sonoita Elementary District Number 25, and Santa Cruz Elementary District Number 28, charter schools, private schools, Nogales and Rio Rico Head Start Centers, preschools, and child care providers. Whereas during the month of February, there are activities orientated toward young children, such as the Santa Cruz County School Superintendent's Office sponsoring the Read on Santa Cruz County initiative from February 26 to March 2nd, 2018, which promotes early literacy in our schools. Santa Cruz County Public Schools sponsoring various early childhood events and initiatives in their respective school sites throughout the entire month of February. The Santa Cruz Regional Partnership Council of First Things First, holding its 7th annual First Things First, celebrates the Young Child Community event on February 10th. This event brings together community partners to provide elements of early education development, parent-family education, and health while providing a fun, safe event for parents and families with children birth to 5. The Nogales Rotary Club Luncheon with preschool directors to recognize the leaders of our Santa Cruz County preschools. Now, therefore, I, John F. Doyle, Mayor of the City of Nogales, Arizona, do hereby proclaim February 2018 as Early Childhood Month. and when it's swear off, and put the seal of the city and put my signature as mayor of the city, which the council and I support all these initiatives. We support early childhood development and education because that's going to save us dollars down the road. So many of our future or our generations are already in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. You know, if they would have had what we're providing now for the kids, we'd be way ahead of the curve. You know, that's one of the things that not only teaches social activities and makes our kids more loved, more accepted, more supportive, that they tend to follow these tendencies that we provide and this direction that we give them so that they will be supportive of our community in the near future when they become young adults and young persons getting involved in our community. So we need to support them now so that we will have a brighter future for our kids now and for our future kids. We might even, some of us might even be able to see some of those years. So we need to work together as a community. We need to be supportive of these things. And I really am so proud of everyone involved, like Mr. Alfredo Velasquez, that kind of spearheads these programs, brings communities together. Today we had an event like that with, we had Olivia, again, Kramer, Ainsa from the chamber, working together with the county, brought us all together, and that's what we need to do, have more communication, more commitment, and helping our kids. Whatever their needs are, we can meet them. So thank you all for the work and help you do, whether it's volunteering, whether it's just supporting, whatever it is. We're very thankful as a community, and I believe Nogales is going to be one of the best communities in the near future because we have that harmonious relationship that we support each other. And thank you again, Alfredo. And I'd like to give you these proclamations that are signed by us.
Thank you.
Good job.
Oh, Mr. Kissinger, I'm just going to go ahead. Go ahead, Alfredo. I just remember something. We let one of our councilmen out. Did you call him?
No, we can as soon as you're ready, sir.
Okay, go ahead and call him, and I think that way we can bring him in into the meeting. We have Councilman Lucero, that's in Washington D.C. Busy over there like usual, all over the place. Couldn't be here tonight, but by phone he's going to be here with us so that he can be part of the meeting. I was wondering why it was so quiet over there.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes,
When
Councilman.
Councilman Lucero gets on the phone, could I please ask, we have some detailed discussions coming up. Could you request your consent that we move to item 6, the consent agenda?
Item 6 on the consent agenda.
Consent agenda is
Yes,
agenda items.
we'll go after we finish the first page, which it's coming up, and if you want to do it now, I don't know how much time we're going to give that the consent agenda since we're going to be pulling out one of the items.
Pull out one of the items.
One of the items.
So,
It won't take long.
okay.
Hello?
Councilman Lucero, this is Frank Felix. Have
Can
you
you-
on the speakerphone?
How you doing, Dr. Felix?
Good, good.
All right. Do you have enough time to join us, Councilman?
I'm almost asleep. I've been waiting.
Oh, oh, I'm sorry. I forget you're in a different time zone. Okay, let's. Why don't we just go ahead and follow the discussion items, and then we'll just follow the agenda throughout. That shouldn't take us too much time either. We've got here, I think, can you please bring I had some resumes for the council to view on they're right here, Dr. Arona to your left. Kind of, that'll be on for some of you that haven't seen the resumes of Dr. Frank Felix. They're very impressive. It'll take some time. You've got about eight or 9 pages of his resume.
Are we on one or item 2?
We'll go to item 1 and then we'll go to item 2. But this is just
Okay.
to put us. So
confused.
we'll start with item 1, but you can review. If you have any questions about, I kind of feel humbled by that, but anyway, we'll go for number 1, which is, can you hear us okay, Councilman Lucero?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay, so we're going to start with discussion items number 1, and we have discussion and possible action, appointment of our interim city attorney, and I'd like to make a motion to appoint Mark Williams as our interim city attorney. Do I have a second on that?
I'll second that, Mayor.
Okay, we open for discussion.
Who is Mark Williams?
Mr. Mark Williams is present, sitting here. He's an attorney here in the city of Nogales.
Does he have his resume so I can see what I'm voting on or anything like that?
Were you able to? I'm sorry, I forgot to mention the resume. I thought everybody locally kind of knew you.
Right.
How many years have you been working here in Nogales?
I was admitted to the state bar in 2013, and I've been here in Nogales since that time. I've been in 2003, sorry. So about 15 years.
About 15 years here locally.
First time I've seen him.
Oh, well.
And I get around.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to say on behalf of Mr. Williams that I've known him for some time, and he's an excellent attorney. He's very well known. His work is impeccable. It's good work. He's a good man. I know him as a good man and as a good father, and he is constantly working in his office. I go by his office at all hours of the night and early morning, and he has his black car right there. I don't know if he even goes home. He probably sleeps there, but I know him as a very reputable, excellent attorney. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And again, you recognize as an interim city attorney, it's more at will, Mr. Williams. It's pretty much we'll cover you with a basic contract of the office, but at will until we select our future regular city attorney, I should say. Just so that would be clear. If you should get selected tonight. Again, is there anything else that anybody would like to make a comment on?
No.
Mr. Mayor? Mr. Mayor?
Yo, I'm sorry, Councilman Lucero, I looked in the wrong direction. Go ahead.
Can you just, for everyone present, give us the terms of the contract? How many months, salary, etc.?
Well, I think on the attorney, is there a limit that the interim goes? Is it 6 months or a year till we find? It would be till we find another city attorney that would be the regular city attorney. But I know there's at least 6 months. It might be a year on the city attorney. There's no time.
There's nothing.
There's no limit. Only
Not
on
like the city
only on
manager.
the yes. It's
Yeah.
not like the city manager, Councilman Lucero. It's open. Is there any, does that answer your question, sir?
I think we should probably put a definite term on the length of time, and
Okay, we could put
How about a year, Councilman?
not to exceed,
Not to exceed a year?
or 6 months, whatever
Would that
the
suffice?
council recommends.
Well,
Do you have a recommendation, Councilman?
I'm okay with whatever the council wants to recommend. I just would like to suggest we put a definitive time.
Well, see, when it's open at will, that really speaks for itself. In other words, it's at the will of the council.
Well, maybe we say if that's at the will, maybe we'll just go from month to month then.
Okay, so it'll be month to month according to the will of the council, or until we find another city attorney that the council supports. Is that okay with you, Councilman?
For a year.
Yeah.
For a year, I mean.
We'll limit to a year.
No, I'm just saying, you know.
Okay.
I'm offering.
Well, we'll put a limit of a year on it, so that it won't exceed that.
We can go month to.
Is that okay with the council?
I prefer month to month.
Month to month, just month to month, because it's at will.
Yeah, it's at will.
It's at will. Okay.
Month to month? Yes,
we
month
won't put a limit on it. We'll just go month to month at the will of the council. Is that okay with okay? And we'll follow the basic terms without. We might modify things like severance pay and those things, but we'll reach. I think a mutual contract. Hopefully you'll be back by then, and you can help us with it.
And Mr. Mayor, and you're going to be an independent contractor, right? We're just
you'll be 5 days a week here, working for us, not working for federal court or.
Right, whatever pleases the council.
Yes, we need you here 5 days a week.
Okay. Call for the question, man.
Okay, we call for the question. We'll do a roll call. And we'll start with me, the mayor. And so I approve the hiring of Mark Williams as our interim city attorney at will to the council, for the pleasure of the council.
I say aye. Month to month.
Next is Councilman Lucero.
I vote aye.
Aye.
Mr. Rojas,
Aye.
Mr. Barona,
I just want to have a point of clarification there, so, Mr. Williams. Is it that you're going to work for the city of Nogales as an independent contractor, or are you looking for a salary and benefits from the city of Nogales?
My mind is very open, so whatever pleases the council, I'm willing to be flexible.
Okay, Mayor, then we just have to authorize Dr. Felix to go ahead and do some kind of negotiations and take it to the mayor. The mayor will bring it back so we get this clarified.
Okay, all right, Dr. Felix, I guess we seem to be in the process or in the road of a contract then, and giving that direction. Your vote was
aye.
Aye, Mr. Barona.
Mr. Venecia,
I will have to abstain due to a possible conflict of interest.
Mr. Diaz,
I agree with all the comments. Councilman Barona said so. Aye.
So we have 6 ayes and 1 abstain.
one abstain, correction.
Okay, well, motion carried. Congratulations, Mr. Williams. Thank you. Step up here, and this will be immediately. You can start tomorrow.
Okay.
Come in and get oriented. Start, start the process.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Okay. We have, going to the next one, we have discussion item and possible action to appoint Dr. Frank Felix as city manager, effective immediately, and approve a proposed employment service agreement for same.
So move.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a second. Discussion? Yes, Councilman Barona.
Mr. Mayor, this is the second time this subject has come up before the council.
Yes.
And we as a council had agreed that we were going to go out and search and hire a consultant to help us do a diligent search. So we go ahead and bring somebody to this community that will help us, because we felt that we're at the crossroads right now. And now That's what the council agreed. Now we're changing tracks. So I'm not sure how this came about, but we agree upon something, we start the process, and now we drop the process. And I was committed to go out and search. I thought that Dr. Felix says that he wanted to be competitive and be a part of a search. So I don't know how this came about, but I am still with the proposal that we continue our search and having a consultant help us what we agreed upon from the very beginning of the process. I mean, this, we were just talking about, I don't want to get into, here again, taint any kind of system, a search or anything. I have nothing condescending to say about Dr. Felix's. He's done a very good job, but I don't want anything to go ahead and taint the process that we have already established and told the community that we were going to do. I just don't understand how we're making a shift, this paradigm shift, all of a sudden. I would have thought that we would have discussed, hey, we're not happy with who we got as consultants. We have two choices. We can handle the search ourselves, or we can just give it to Dr. Felix for a longer period of time. I don't mind giving Dr. Felix a contract for a year, because I had agreed when we talked about the changes in the charter that we can't find a person in 6 months, okay? That's an outdated thing. Any mayor and council needs at least to go through the process and get the community involved at least a year. Now, if this contract goes all the way till 2019, you know, if you want to make a contract that says 1 year, I can support that. But I'm not going to go any longer than that, and I'm committed to give Dr. Felix a year, or if we find another city manager prior to that, that would bring the termination to the contract. But we've gone through all of this effort, and to drop it right now, after we've made an agreement as a council, and now we're shifting around, I just don't think this is appropriate. I don't even think it's fair to you, Dr. Felix, after all the discussions that we had on this matter.
Well, I'd like to say something on that. After Councilman Maldonado brought out that discussion the last time, I got a few calls and ran into a few people in the street, and they were very supportive of, why don't you just give a contract to Dr. Felix? He's an outstanding person. We're amazed that he's even in Nogales. And to be honest with you, the main thing that the person that came down from the League of Cities and Towns was, the biggest factor was that the person that they can guarantee is, will he be a fit into our community, into our administration, into our program, into our goals. When we went to the retreat, he was there. He's already way ahead of any candidate. And I was comparing some of the background on the people that we're going to select from those companies, the candidates. They don't even have 15% of the background of his knowledge or expertise. So how are they going to go and find somebody for us? Besides, why are we going to be throwing money when we already have a candidate that's a perfect fit? He's a hands-on man. There hasn't been any other city manager that's doing what he's doing. And he's very laid back, very humble. I'm humbled by his presence here in Nogales, especially when he worked in my office and took a low salary just to help our community. He's done his thing in other places, but he said, I want to help Nogales out because as in my youth, I was here. I grew up here. I have some ties. He says, and I want to see border communities like Nogales go forth, and especially Nogales that has been left behind for times. How are we going to find somebody with that mentality and his experience? I mean, there's a resume. If you have the time to read it, I recommend that you do. And that's only, you know, he didn't put everything, all his accomplishments. But we are fortunate to have him here. And that's all I have to say. The other thing was that the people here have asked me, after George brought it up, I looked at it, I studied it, and I said, you know, what are we doing? Dancing through the tulips, you know? Are you kidding? Are we going to lose the best candidate that we probably won't be able to find another one? And we're going to go through another lengthy process of, you know, we didn't drop the ball. They dropped the ball on us. They didn't want to do the searches. And then they come back, well, okay, we changed our minds. Okay, so now we change our mind. We know what we have, and that's all. That's my. I'll call for the question. I think.
Mr. Mayor?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Let's not stifle these.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I get excited. Okay, wait. I retrieve that.
Mr. Mayor, I believe Councilman Maldonado.
Okay.
And then you do have
I'm sorry.
Councilman
Go ahead, Councilman.
Lucero. Mr. Lucero talking. Go ahead,
Yes.
Mr. Lucero.
Councilman Lucero, you have the floor.
Mr. Mayor?
Go ahead.
We're listening.
Just to follow up on Dr. Varona's questions and concerns, we're about to start the budget process, and I think it's difficult for us to continue doing the city manager search right in the middle of the budget process. So, yeah, I would like to at least have a manager on board through the budget process. We've gone through a planning retreat where we've got goals and objectives. So I would at least like to see, a 12-month contract with a 6-month review to see where we stand with the accomplishments of Dr. Felix. And after 6 months, if we are happy, then we can proceed. And maybe after 6 months, if things aren't going in the direction we like, maybe we start the recruitment process at that time. But I would support a 12-month contract with a 6-month review to see where we're at with where we'd like to be with our the goals and objectives we set up in our planning retreat.
Okay, Councilman Lucero, the reason I thought 18 months would be appropriate also is because he's already on the path of achieving a lot of our goals. But not only that, I think staff, city employees need to know that they're going to have a long-term person in place. I think when other directors come in the future to fill spots, they want to know they have somebody who's going to be their boss. And I think if we're acting like we're flickering back and forth, I don't, to be honest with you, I can only see good things happening with the city of Nogales under the guidance and direction of Dr. Felix. That's why
I'm okay with the 18 months, but I would still like to do a review at 6 months and maybe another review at 12 months.
Okay, we can do the review. We can have the reviews at 6 months and the 12 months, which is fine. But I think it'll send a better message to people that are applying for certain positions in the city with some of the offices that are open right now. And I think that will give him more credibility that we support him in this. And that's why I think we should keep the 18 months and do the review. We should actually do the review a year from now and then take it from there. Or get an update 6 months from now.
6 months is not that difficult.
Okay. Would that be agreeable with you?
Yes, sir.
18 months with a 6-month review?
Yes, sir. We'll do a 6 month and a 12-month review.
Is that okay with you, Doctor? Is that okay with you, Dr. Verona?
No, I can't support more than 12
okay.
months.
All right.
I just don't think that that kind of a suggestion is appropriate, especially when we went through another previous city manager that went from 6 to 12 to 18, and look what happened at the end. I think that we should go out for the search. A lot of people have told me in the community they're glad that we're going out for a search and trying to find somebody that will be a good fit for our community. And I think that is appropriate that we continue on what we agreed upon. I don't understand why we are changing. We talked about this once, now we're talking about it again. So every time we vote on something, then we're just gonna come back and change our minds on this.
No,
We need
no,
to find
Councilman,
we
they
need
dropped
to
the ball
find
on us,
somebody-
Councilman.
No,
Let me answer.
nobody dropped the ball. We haven't even had a chance to discuss it. We haven't had a chance to discuss anything about the consultants at all. Nothing at all. We haven't been given the opportunity to say as a council, you know what, we're
Well,
not happy with them.
well,
Let's
well,
go
that's-
ahead and
okay.
do with this and that.
Okay, I
But we
agree with
haven't
that,
had-
I agree with
we
that,
haven't.
and that's,
So let's
that's your
just be
opinion,
fair.
and that's why we're a council, right?
That's exactly right. So
Okay.
how did this get onto the agenda if we didn't agree upon it as a council?
Well, here we are, we're.
But we didn't agree what happens to the consultants. We didn't have that discussion. How did we get to this point?
Well,
That's what I'm saying, because
Okay.
we never had a discussion on this.
okay, Councilman, all right, now we have, you're repeating yourself, sir.
No, I'm not repeating myself.
Yes, you are.
I'm repeating myself if you want to look at me having to say the same thing on the same topic that we discussed
Okay,
twice
so,
here.
okay,
The same thing we
fine.
discussed when we
Now-
agreed upon.
Now let's give the floor to Councilman Maldonado.
Okay, for everybody's knowledge, the company we had selected came back and said that they were too busy, that they couldn't go ahead and do the job for us, and basically we had already notified the other two companies that they weren't selected. And for me, this is the best thing for the city that we could do. And I proposed it last time. We would be saving the money of the companies, the surge, and could use it for the other goods in the city. But that's why I'm in support of this.
Any other-
Mayor, did I make or did I second that motion? I second. You make it.
You
Okay,
make
I
the
make the
motion, you
motion.
second
Okay.
Councilman Inicial?
You know, Mr. Mayor, I have to agree with Councilman Verona. I mean, we voted on this. You know, we had a discussion on it. There was discussion whether to just seek in-house or to go out and seek for a city manager. We all voted on it. At the time, you know, Dr. Felix was asked if he was interested in a full-time position there, and he said no. So we went ahead and we voted for it, which at the time, everybody then went ahead and agreed on the order to go ahead and seek a company to go ahead and find a city manager.
And we selected a company.
And we selected 3 companies.
No,
And
well,
the reason we selected 3 companies was, well, we sent out 10 applications for seeking it. We received 3. We got together and I didn't vote for the company that we picked, but anyway, we picked a company. So I don't know, again, I kind of agree, how did we get to this position? We already had agreed to do something, right? And to me, it makes sense.
and they
that we were
agreed
looking-
that they
we
were going to
looking.
be part of the search, and then they changed their mind.
Well, that's fine, that's why there was 3 companies, right? And so again, nothing against Dr. Felix, nothing against what he's doing or not, but again, we said, last time we had a search, we had 16 applicants, okay? So all I'm saying is that if we're gonna be looking for what we would consider.
And the one we got didn't fit in the community. He didn't do that great of a job.
Nobody ever fits after 3 years. I mean, if you look at the average, is 3 years for a city manager. That's what it is. And this is across country. This is in Arizona. This is everywhere. 3 years is it. A rare example will go past that. So, you know, the people change, the mayor changes, the city council changes, so things will always change. But all I'm saying is that I have no problem with Dr. Felix applying. He said he was going to apply. I have no problems with that. I have no problems him remaining as the interim city manager until we find somebody. Or it could be him. He may end up being the best. We may not get any more applicants. So, but I tend to agree with Dr. Verona. We gave an order. We said, Dr. Felix, go ahead and start the process to look for a city manager. And that's what we agreed upon. And I agree. Where did this thing change? How come nobody gave a warning? Or why didn't we have a meeting to discuss canceling the search for a city manager?
Well, it was
that we could
canceled.
talk about?
I believe Mr. Kissinger was in charge. He notified the other companies that that they were going to be out of then one of them called back and said that they didn't have the time
Did
either.
you do that? Did you call the three companies and tell them that?
You did not call them, sir? You did not notify those
You
companies?
called them and told them that they were out of this search?
Mr. Mayor?
Okay.
Mr. Mayor?
Oh, yes. Yes, go ahead, Councilman.
I think the issue is with the discussion we're having is a change in direction. That it's pretty simple. If the council does not support retaining Dr. Felix as the city manager, then we continue with the recruitment process. But the motion, as I understand on the floor, is that we're going to place Dr. Felix as the city manager, and after a review process, if we're happy, we will continue to move in that direction. If not, then we'll start the recruitment process.
Right.
But
Mr. Mayor.
That's
it's
okay.
pretty simple. If
You're right.
if
You're
you
right,
don't
thank you.
support Dr. Felix, then you vote no, and if you do, you vote yes, and move on.
Thank you, Councilman.
Mr. Mayor, and that's why I asked if I had made the motion, which I did, and I'm ready to call for the question.
Okay, so we call for the question. We'll do a roll call to leave everybody happy. Letty will start here with the mayor, and I vote aye to approve the appointment and immediately as city manager, effective immediately, and approve the proposed employment service agreement for the same purpose. I vote aye.
Mr. Maldonado.
Aye.
Mr. Lucero.
Aye.
Mr. Rojas.
Aye.
Mr. Varona.
I just want to explain my vote. This has nothing to do with you, Dr. Felix. This has in its entirety to do with the process that we had agreed upon and that was changed without input from the council. And I'm very resentful when I'm taken back into considerations like that. I vote no.
Mr. Genesian.
Yes, I want to explain it for the same reason that Dr. Verona has given. I believe that we gave an order for us to search for it. At the time, again, Dr. Felix, nothing against him, but he was asked if he wanted to be the permanent in there. He said no. Later, he said he was going to apply. So we keep changing everything. And again, I feel that we gave an order to what was going to happen. Somewhere along the line, everything was changed on us. So for that reason, I have to vote nay.
Mr. Diaz.
I'm going to vote yes, and I'm going to say why. Dr. Felix has been in office already since October, so time is flying by, and you know, we're already here in February, and we need continuity. Dr. Felix is providing good leadership, and like if you're going to have a review, have the review, and then you can look for somebody else. But I believe Dr. Felix is doing a good job, so I'm voting yes.
5-2.
Okay, so we have 6.
5-2.
5-2, okay. 5-2. Well, vote. Motion to approve. Carry. 5-2. Congratulations, Dr. Felix. We expect you to continue to do the same work you're doing. Again, you heard the reasons, but I want to tell you that I'm grateful that you're part of this community. And I believe under your direction, the city's already seeing a new trend of life. You have a good relationship with the directors and the employees, and I believe we're gonna blossom and prosper from it. So again, thank you for I guess putting yourself in the line of fire for us. Thank you. Now that we got that, we go into number 5. And I don't know, do we have anybody from the media here tonight? Oh, would you like a copy of the resume of Dr. Felix? You got one? Good. Thank you. And so that you'll know why the council that voted for him are honored to have him. Again, we're going to number 5, discussion and possible direction to staff to start an investigation on the sanitation site loader. Do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, open for discussion.
Well, I would like to hear, before I want to vote on investigation, I'd like to hear the Public Works Director give an explanation of what happened. Mr. Parsons.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, thank you for the opportunity to explain this. In August of last year, we got an accident in one of our sanitation trucks. This is one of the trucks that's a side loader that has an arm that reaches for the cans and dumps the trash. During the investigation that I did internally, I'm not a professional investigator, so I just tried to get all the facts that I could get from the accident. Got a police report. We sent the driver to the lab, like his normal procedures, to test that he was in good conditions. And also, I talked to the driver. He did some explanation in writing and verbally. He told me what happened. And I drafted a memo for Dr. Felix explaining the accident. The police created a big report with pictures and everything. What I believe happens, based on the information that I got, is there was a malfunction of the arm, because when I asked the drivers that operates that kind of truck, they explained to me that it's an automatic process. When the truck goes and grabs one of the cans, as soon as it dumps, just push a button in the controls and pulls back the can back in the sidewalk, and then there is nothing else that they need to do. It's automatically, as soon as they release the can, the arm retracts and gets going. In this case, for some reason, the arm didn't retract completely, and that's what happened. That hit when the truck started moving, hit a car that was parked ahead of in the street. According to the report that I have seen, the car that was hit was about 2 or 3 homes ahead of where the last can was dropped. So it was not something immediately. That was the car parked right there and was hit immediately. That's the information that I have. I checked the record of the driver. I checked the prior accidents or anything that has happened. I didn't find any problems with his past record, and I talked to him, counseling, and telling them that we needed to do more careful watching of the operation of the trucks, and also working with our mechanical shop. We asked the company that manufactured these trucks to see if there is any way that they can prevent the movement of the truck if the arm doesn't retract completely. I haven't received that response yet, because they are checking into that and see if there's a way, a mechanism that they can implement so the truck would not move if the arm is not totally retracted. That's the investigation that I did, and that's all the information that I got.
Mr. Barcenas, how much did that piece of equipment cost?
The truck?
Yes.
I think it's about $250,000.
$250,000. Okay, we'll check the record on that because you're not sure. But on a $250,000 piece of equipment, why wouldn't that person that you say moved 3 houses down the road, and they have all kinds of mirrors, and that they can see on top to the sides and everything else, because it's a modern piece of equipment. It's not an old piece of equipment. How would he not be able to see that that arm hadn't come back to its original position?
Mr. Mayor, the arm is in the bottom of the truck. I don't know for sure that you can see that through the cameras or through the mirror.
You didn't investigate.
I didn't investigate that.
Well, that's why we need an investigation. That's why exactly we need an investigation, and we need an investigation to find out exactly what happened. Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Barcenas, did the mechanic that you have that's responsible for the care of the vehicle, did you ask him for an opinion?
Yes.
And what did he say?
They say that probably was a misfunction of the equipment. But there's another thing that I found when I did the investigation. There's an alarm inside of the cabin of the truck that beeps when the arm is not totally retracted. They found that alarm, the speaker for that alarm, was really small, and the sound with the engine running was really hard to hear. We modified the trucks now to have that alarm a lot louder and making sure that the drivers are aware that there is a malfunction. But we were not aware of that before the accident.
And did that driver, did he receive training like the other drivers did on that vehicle?
They did receive training when the manufacturer came for...
Not they, that particular driver?
Yes, they did.
He did receive training?
Yeah, all the CDL drivers that we have in the sanitation department were part of that training.
And with a CDL license, that driver did a free trip on that vehicle every day?
Yes, they do.
And they didn't recognize the speaker?
Well,
or something like that?
The speaker only sounds when there's an arm that's not totally retracted.
Okay.
So that didn't happen before, probably they didn't hear.
So during the training, that speaker will only sound if something's wrong. You can't test the system on a free trip to see if it's working or not?
I don't know. When the training was done, I was not there, so I don't know, sir.
Mr. Mayor?
Are you done, Councilman Barona?
It's just, I'd like to see the training documents that he received the training, the individual, and I would concur to have Dr. Felix do an investigation on this, detailed investigation. Because this can't continue like this.
We're accountable to the citizens of our community.
Yes.
And it's through great sacrifice that we purchase equipment like that. You know, our employees have to be more respectful of the equipment they handle. They have to be more accountable. Vice Mayor had a question, I'm sorry.
Yes, I did. Mr. Barcenas, don't they go through a safety checklist before these vehicles go out?
Yes.
They do go through a safety checklist.
Yes.
Before they go out.
It's a checklist that they have to go and they check a number of things.
And they did it that day?
They did it that day, but the retraction of the arm is not part of that checklist because normally it's an automatic function, so they don't have to do anything with that. So
that doesn't make sense, huh?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense at all.
But doesn't make sense that you drive 3 homes away, which can be almost a length of a football field, and you don't see what's going on. You're not paying attention. That's negligence. So that's why I'd like to have an investigation. But go ahead, Councilman.
Yeah, how much was the total damage to the truck and the car that it would have hit? I believe $20-some thousand.
Not to the both of them it wasn't. It was $30,000 for one, and the vehicle was another $22,000.
That's true.
According to the
And
city
then
attorney.
how much time did we lose out of commission from using that? How much extra did we have to pay?
So the total damage
overtime
was
for crews to be
52,000?
taken care
No, it's
of.
close to
Yes, in that range.
60, 70,000. And we only paid $1,000 because of the insurance, and they want to let this go because our deductible is only $1,000 per incident, right? So we paid $1,000 for the arm and $1,000 for the damage of the vehicle. But that's not the point. The point that the total was, according to the city attorney, is close to $70,000 in damages.
Now, how much more dangerous if a little child would have gotten in the way and you're not paying attention? No, we need to look into this. Councilman Diaz.
Is there a warning light on the dash when something's wrong, like the arm is retracted?
No
There's a
light,
warning
no.
light?
It's just an alarm, it's a sound that,
Okay, because usually on my trucks, they have a warning light, like when your PTO is on, there's a light and it blinks at you, indicating that the equipment is on.
to tell you the truth, I'm not an expert in the truck, so I relied on the mechanics on the shop to tell me what.
They should, I think they should also put a warning light on there when
Yeah,
the equipment's operation to prevent things like this.
Well, on that investigation, we're going to include all those areas, and we're going to get some feedback from other cities that have that equipment, how they handle situations like that. We're going to make comparisons. We want accountability. We need accountability, and that's your department.
Yes, yes, sir. And
you know, I can see with your attitude right now, you didn't take this thing serious.
no, I did.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
I think we can go ahead, Mr. Mayor, and vote. I think we agree. We need to have the city manager perform an in-depth investigation and report it back to us. We want to know what happened.
Right. So, I guess discussion and possible direction. So I guess pretty much we don't need really to.
Was there a motion?
Yeah.
Well, there was a motion.
Motion and second.
There was a motion to start an investigation. So we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and vote on that. Then we'll call for the question. I think this is I don't think it's going to be in opposition to an investigation, but I'll just, if there is, we'll do a roll call. But let's start first. See if we're all in the same boat. There's a motion to approve an investigation on this sanitation site loader. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any nays? None. Motion carried unanimously. Dr. Felix, will you please go ahead and direct staff or whoever needs to start this and get all these details back to us and see what's going on. Okay. Now we go to the consent agenda. And we have here, again, matters listed under the consent calendar are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion and one vote. Prior to consideration of the consent agenda, the mayor will ask whether any member of the public wishes to remove an item for separate consideration. Member of the council or staff may remove any item for separate consideration. Apparently, I think we had one member in the public, and I don't know, maybe one of the council members also.
Yes, Mayor. I
said
believe
so.
it's
So
item
is there
B.
we're going with item B. So we'll pull that out. We'll take a vote on the other two items as a consent, or should we just discuss first and then do the
No,
consent?
I motion to approve on the consent agenda item A and C.
And C.
So
So
moved.
we have a motion and a second to approve A and C on the consent. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any nays? None? Motion carried unanimously for those two items. And now we're pulling out item D, and that's consideration and possible action of liquor license 2018-2, approval of recommendation of the issuance of a special event liquor license application for Mrs. Graciela V. Aguirre for Nogales High School Band Boosters for a fundraiser February 10th, 2018. Open for discussion?
Mr. Mayor, there's an, under the name of the organization, it says there, Nogales High School. I looked on the documentation here and I didn't see a letter from Principal Miranda of Nogales High School authorizing that this is appropriate and that he is supportive of this. One, because when you put Nogales High School on it, and I don't want to bind Nogales High School, you bind the Nogales Unified School District under the liquor license, and you bind also Nogales Unified's insurance for this if something was to go wrong. Now, if they want to say eliminate Nogales High School, since there's no letter from the principal here, and put band boosters, and you yourselves want to put up your personal assets if something goes wrong, or buy yourself a $10 million liability insurance policy to protect yourself so they don't, if something goes wrong, they're going to go after you, but more than likely, if we have Nogales High School, they're going to go after Nogales Unified School District. Even if you get the insurance, you're not going to make enough profits to pay for that particular insurance, Mayor. I just don't see a letter of support that Nogales Unified School District, and in particular the principal of Nogales High School, is supportive of this. So, but if they want to continue, and they themselves take their personal risk and put their personal assets up, take Nogales High School off and just put band boosters, the lady's name is on there, that's fine. But I don't think Nogales High School should be put on there unless we have a letter from the superintendent or the principal. That's
Mayor.
Well, I guess, is it
Mayor.
okay with you, Councilman, to be addressed? But first we'll go with, we have Councilman Lucero. Yes, Councilman Lucero, you're a board member. Please speak out.
Just a question of clarification. Is the band boosters, are they a registered nonprofit with the name NHS Band Boosters?
Yes,
Without the name or with the name?
with the name.
With the name. They're registered with the name.
Yes.
Yes, they are registered with the name Mr. Lucero, and you also know that the Nogales Unified School District Governing
Mr.
Board.
Mayor, I believe it's
Oh, we
over.
have Councilman Lucero. Yes, go ahead, Councilman Lucero.
I didn't interrupt Dr. Varona when he was speaking.
Okay, he's giving you the floor now.
I just want clarification that if they are their own nonprofit, so they as a legal entity would have their own insurance, is that correct? I just want to make sure they have their own insurance.
You have your own insurance? Councilman Varona, do you have any questions on that?
No, the only thing is they might have an insurance policy because they can't do anything with the Nogales High School name on it unless it's approved by the governing board. Selling alcoholic beverages is not an item that is sanctioned by Nogales Unified School District for fundraising. They want to do it by themselves. Let them do it by themselves. Let them put up their own insurance. Let them put up their own assets. But it should not be Nogales High School unless the principal is here to say, I approve this sanction. And I have nothing here to say that the principal approves of this.
Councilman Lucero, do you have anything to add
Mr.
to
Mayor,
that?
we just need clarification. If the attorney present could clarify when they're applying for a special event liquor license, I believe they have to use the name of the nonprofit entity, and if it's NHS Band Boosters, that's what they have to put on the application. I don't believe it binds NUSD as a district.
If you'd like to take a seat here and answer that you can hear better, go ahead, Mr. Williams.
What I would suggest, Your Honor, Mayor, is, used to being in court, is that Mr. Massey, since I'm starting tomorrow, have Mr. Massey address that matter right now.
Mr. Massey, did he take a, is he on the phone?
Can we
He's
have
coming,
the young,
he's coming.
Can we have the young lady,
Okay, in between, while we're waiting for
Graciela.
Mr. Massey, can you go ahead and take a moment to update us, or what's the question?
Come up here.
Your podium? Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We are under the IRS, we are registered as the Nogales High School Band Booster, and also under the Arizona Corporate Commissions. We did look into the liability insurance, and we contacted Mr. Baffert to see about the insurance as well. I was notified at the time of the application that since we are a nonprofit organization, that we were allowed to apply for a liquor license without having a letter from Mr. Miranda or the governing board from the district. So That's what I was informed at the time that I came and
Well,
made the
Let
application.
me ask Steve, Councilman Lucero, were you able to hear that?
If somebody could repeat it, it was a little bit garbled on my end.
Oh, can you speak closer
Sure.
into the microphone?
At the we, the Nogales High School Band Booster, we are registered. We are a nonprofit organization, and we are registered with the Arizona Corporate Commission under Nogales High School Band Booster. We are a separate entity from the Santa Cruz, from the Nogales Unified School District. This is something that we, the parents, we work for the kids, for them. We have nothing to do with the Nogales Unified School District. At the time that I did come and ask for the application, I was informed that if we are under the Nogales Unified School District, I did need a letter from the principal and the governing board, but since we are a nonprofit organization, we were allowed to request for the application.
Is the fundraiser for the children?
Yes, but they're not involved whatsoever. And it's stated as well on the tickets that if it's only adults only over 21. And I mean, we're doing this for them.
For the children.
It's for the kids. It has nothing to do it's just all for them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there any other comments you would like to share with us, Councilman Lucero? Councilman Lucero, are you still there?
Yes, call for the question, Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is there anything that you would like to add to this discussion or comment on?
I'm ready to vote.
You're ready to vote?
Call for the question.
Okay, we call for the question, and it seems like this. Pardon? Okay. We didn't have a motion? Oh, we took it out of the agenda. So do we have a motion to approve this liquor license for this event?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion. Second. And I can see that it's really to explain clearly on liquor licenses. Of course, the council's going to vote their conscience, but it's really, like they said, a nonprofit event. It's not tied in with the schools directly, and I guess we discussed all this, so we'll just do a vote for it. So all those in favor of approving this liquor license for this event?
Request a roll call vote.
You request a roll call, and we'll start at this time. We've been starting here all night with me. We'll start with Councilman Diaz. You can start the banging away.
Well, since Ms. Aguirre is going to take responsibility for the band boosters, I vote yes.
Mr. Venecian?
Yes.
Mr. Barona?
I'd like to explain my vote. I still believe that using the name Nogales High School when this organization has to get approved on an annual basis and has to present how they raise their money and the money that they have in their particular account. And I don't find it appropriate that we're using alcohol beverages when I have struggled with that and have taken many students to the cemetery because of this. And I'm just not going to support this. So I vote no.
Mr. Rojas?
Aye.
Mr. Lucero?
Aye.
Mr. Maldonado?
Aye.
Mayor?
I didn't like that last comment you made there, Dr. Malona. I guess if I would have known that, I would have questioned this a little more. Are children going to be, I don't know if children are going to be involved in this.
No, for adults.
All for adults.
21.
21 and over.
We didn't even ask where it's going to be held.
Except
Diamond House.
Oh, it's enclosed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like any other event. Okay, it's supervised. It's under, there's no alcohol going out the windows or doors or nothing like that. Okay, I vote aye.
We still have more discussion on this.
Or just school board.
Okay, so we have 6-1, motion carried. And now, we've already gone and taken care of business under the Nogales housing, and we're to orders 9, number 3 actually, consideration and possible action of order 2018-02-012, an order of the Council of the City of Nogales, Arizona, approving La Loma Grande Industrial Park Blocks 1 through 4 subdivision plat and associated third-party trust assurance agreement.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Okay, so open for discussion.
Do we get a second? Is there a
Oh,
second?
I think we got
Second.
a third and a fourth on that one, but go ahead.
About
Any discussion, any comments? Okay, seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor of approving this order, say so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? No nays? Motion carried unanimously. Going to number 4, consideration and possible action of order 2018-02-013, in order of the Council of the City of Nogales, Arizona, to quit claim and abandon access easements on privately owned parcels 105-22-014A and 105-22-014B, located at the corner of West Gold Hill Road and North Palenque Avenue.
So moved, Mr.
We
Mayor.
have a motion to approve. We have a second. Open for discussion.
Second.
Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? No nays? Motion carried unanimously. Consideration and possible action of order 2018-02-014, an order of the Council of the City of Nogales, Arizona, authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Made For You and make the appropriate budget adjustment from the FY 2017 fiscal year 2017 budget contingency fund to the Parks and Recreation Fund to fund the cleaning and opening and closing of the current park restrooms. We have a second on that?
Second.
Okay. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving this order signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No nays. Motion carried unanimously.
Pardon me, I'm sorry, Mayor, but I think you just quitclaimed a piece of my property. That's a retention basin, if I'm not mistaken, that belongs to me over here by Gold Hills and that road. I purchased that when I purchased the Pearson property. The city has access to it to maintain it. It was done, I have the drawings, the plans, the engineering. I purchased the property in 1999. In 2003, I had the drawings and the engineering all done, city approved. Like earlier when you asked, can things happen after you have approved drawings? Boy, I don't know what's going on here, but that is a drainage. It's about a half an acre. It's what they call a retention basin. It was originally a retention basin where it holds all the water that rains from a 12-acre parcel that I own. And that was part of the purchase when I bought the property from Helen Pearson. I have the drawings, the engineering. You folks have the easement to maintain it. It's been a bit of contention for many years. Your family owned this piece of property that it is on at one time. They met with me many times on what we could do about making it smaller. I've hired engineers. We did get it changed from a retention basin to a detention basin. I mean, this is an ongoing, gosh.
You're saying my family's involved in ownership of that? Or
At
part
one
of it?
time they were.
Oh, at one time.
At one time, yes, sir.
I
Chamberlain's just
would
bought it.
have bailed out here on the voting.
Yeah, no, Chamberlain's just purchased it. And he came to me, Jaime came to me and asked me about the retention basin. He knew about it. Your family, when they owned it, they met with me several times. I mean, this is a known deal. I came here to,
For the paving.
paving.
Yeah,
yes.
that's what I thought you were here for.
Yes, well, me too. But that parcel number, you know, you just rang a bell and, boy, I needed to speak up.
Okay,
This is,
we're
boy.
at a legal
Which parcel
crossroad.
number 4? Was that item 4?
Item 4, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so, what happened to your
Mayor, I
employee that was supposed
Yeah.
to, did anybody excuse him
Yeah,
from?
apparently he's back in his office, and I'm told he's not feeling well. I can go try and get him to come out, but I really think it would be appropriate if he.
I think he would have the background on that. Can you ask him, tell him,
Yeah,
can you
let
go
me-
tell
let
him,
me go try
see if he
and
can at least come?
Oh, you bet.
And just to give us some clarification on this, from the legal status.
Take a quick recess and we'll take
I think so, we'll take,
I'm told that he left.
Yeah, I have the documents. I'm not just saying this. I have the approved plans.
okay, let's, oh boy, this puts us in a kind of a,
Yeah, but
Mr. Mayor?
Mr.
We
Mayor.
approved it, can we
Let's-
refill our,
yes, Councilman Lucero.
Point of order, I believe we've already discussed that agenda item, and we can't be discussing it after we've acted on it.
I guess that's why, I guess we can address it on a, can we readdress it in a future date? I guess
Shouldn't I
we'll
be
get the legal
notified?
opinion on
Just-
that.
I mean,
Boy, you weren't prepared for that either.
no. No,
Okay,
sir.
so that, yes,
Mayor, what I would
Council,
suggest is, you know, everybody's already voted, let's,
put it on the agenda?
regroup
exactly.
and Ted, look at it. Well, that's what we're gonna have to do for the time being, see, and get the legal, status on that. Maybe you can bring, both of you can bring the information, that we need to our legal department so that we can discuss it at a future date.
I'd be happy to meet with him tomorrow morning at 8.
Would you?
Sure, you bet.
Okay. But,
Okay.
You bet.
you said you purchased it, Mr. Chamberlain? So,
Okay, thank you, Councilman Lucero. We're gonna go ahead then and deal with that item on a future
Yeah,
date.
I'm sorry, he never let me know that he was doing this or anything. He came and asked me would I work with him and help him do something with it, and I agreed. I said, you bet. So this was just all a big surprise to me.
Okay, well, maybe we can all get together and iron this thing out in a harmonious way.
No, Mr. Mayor, just a question. Mr. Harvey, the property is in your name?
no.
If, I'll get you the paperwork. I have the drawings, I have the documents for the easements for the city. If I'd have known about this, if I had any, I don't know how this can happen and I don't even know about it. I mean, especially after Jaime coming and talking to me and I said, yeah, I'd be willing to do whatever I could to work with him and stuff, and then this is kind of a sneaky deal. I don't,
Well, let's,
you know, like you were saying earlier, Mr. Verona there, you know how things happen. I mean, I don't know how this happened. Boy, geez, I'm glad I was here.
okay. Well, we'll go ahead and
You wanna talk?
we'll be able to get together and see how we can address this issue at a future date.
Chamberlain, talk. No sé qué quiera decir.
Mr. Chamberlain, would you agree to be in communication with?
Sure.
legal?
Not a problem.
All right, so we'll let legal go ahead and they can report back to us. And
Yeah, I'm sorry it didn't come to me faster, you know, I said, you know.
I'm sorry, I saw you here and I thought you were waiting for that.
I was.
For that
waiting for
paving.
the paving. I was blindsided, you know,
Okay, so
Can we give
We go-
instruction to put it back in the?
we're going to
agenda?
go ahead, Councilman Lucero,
Put it back in the agenda.
and get back on track here. Kind of hit a bump on the road, but nothing that can't get taken care of. The parties are in accord with that, and hopefully we'll be able to come to an agreement. Let's see, so we got, so we're down now to, we were at number 4. We were open for discussion, I guess, when that came, we hit the speed bump and we didn't realize it.
I'm sorry.
Again, we were talking about the parks, the funding of the parks and recreation fund, the cleaning and opening and closing of the Karam Park restrooms.
We have just approved this.
We approved it.
Yeah. We approved that, okay.
We're on 6.
So we were actually on 6,
Basically.
okay. No, we were just heading to your...
No, this one came back, number 4 came back when Mr.
Oh.
Harvey stood up.
Okay, but so we're going back now. We're not going to address that anymore because we already voted on that. That was approved, right? Item 5 was approved for the moment. Okay. So now we're in item 6. We did 5, we did 4, 5, and now we're in 6. And this is the one that I thought you were coming to listen to. And number 6 is consideration and possible action of order 2018-02-015, an order of the Council of the City of Nogales, Arizona, awarding a paving contract to Arizona General Engineering Contracting Incorporation, AGE, for various streets in the Nogalitos area.
So moved.
We have a
second.
First and second to approve. Open for discussion. Yes, Councilman?
I just want to, instead of various, can we name the streets? It's Monterey.
It's named on there. It's on there.
Oh, okay.
It's on there.
Mercedes, Monterey, and the east side of Edwards.
Edwards. Okay,
Goes up
just want to make sure.
Right. Okay. And so we have, do we have any discussion, other comments? Okay, so we have a motion to approve. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Councilman Lucero?
I said aye.
Okay, thank you. Motion passed unanimously. And we'll go now to number 7. Consideration and possible action of order 2018-02-016, an order of the Council of the City of Nogales, Arizona, approving of sub-grantee agreement with the Arizona Department of Homeland Security for a stone garden grant in the amount of $16,400 in reimbursable capital outlay equipment for Nogales Police Department.
So moved.
We have a motion to approve and second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any nays? Motion passed unanimously. Going to number 8. Consideration and possible action of order 2018-02-017, an order of the Council of the City of Nogales, Arizona, approving a sub-grantee agreement with the Arizona Department of Homeland Security for a stone garden grant in the amount of $595,000 in reimbursable overtime and mileage. Do I have?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Approved. First, second. Open for discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried unanimously. Going to ordinances. Number 1, consideration and possible action of ordinance 02018-02-001, an ordinance amending Nogales City Code Section 19-41 regarding city repair and maintenance of public facilities located on private or government property. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second? I second that motion. Do we open for discussion?
Yeah, could someone give us an explanation on this?
Yes. We have, I guess the way I understood it is that if we're, well, I guess Dr. Felix, you could probably give us, but it has to do with our lines on private property.
Did we make any corrections or for either leaks or whatever to, on this type of property, we put it back to its original form, but in terms of concrete or any of the pavement, it's on the owner of the property to provide for that.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other discussion, any comments? Okay, do we have a motion? We have the motion to approve. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 No nays. Motion carried unanimously. And we go for,
Mayor, may I interject? If this is an ordinance, if it's unanimous approved, then we have, would you like to vote to waive second reading?
oh, we need a,
Yes, sir.
okay.
We need a motion and an approval if you wish to waive second reading. If not, it comes back.
So move then.
Okay, we're gonna make a motion to waive the second reading. Do I have a second?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried unanimously. Thank you, Letty.
Thank you, sir.
Down to number 11, future agenda items. Councilman Maldonado?
I'd just like to see if with the order that we approved without knowing Mr. Harvey's interest in it,
We'll
address it and put it in the next agenda.
We'll, if it's ready for the next agenda, we'll put it on.
Okay.
That way hopefully everything
It's resolved.
will be resolved, yes. Okay, do I have?
One more.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, Councilman.
Update on what's happening with the grant for the amphitheater?
Oh,
And if
oh,
we're gonna
good,
do it or
good,
whatever.
good, yes, we need to, thank you. We want to put on the next agenda item, now do you want to report or you want to?
An update
Update
on what's going on.
What's going on with the project of the amphitheater? We got the grant money, when are we going to start moving on it? We want to see it develop. Thank you, Councilman.
Also, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to have an update on Mr. Bonoran's concern about
Yes.
the sewer line there in Peña Blanca infiltrating, the possibility that it might be infiltrating other wells around there and get a report.
And also for those joint fasteners
Right,
or
get a
retainers
report
that,
on
instead of having the slip joints, I think we need to find out. We got to make sure that it's not going to be a breakdown. So we need an update on that, Doctor, to get that clarified and give us a report on all that we might even put some action behind that. Okay, any other item? Yes, Councilman Maldonado?
No, I'd just like to thank Dr. Felix for setting up the ADOT meetings that we've had. I think we've done a lot of good progress with them.
Yes, I noticed already. I think it's okay since we're coming to get a report maybe on future the future agenda items. How many things has ADOT already done in the community starting last week after we had our conversation? Maybe get a report on that. I have already seen the improvements. They're already working on the medium. They set up most of the lights already on Grand Avenue. I think they're done about 70% to 75% already. So we're headed in the right direction. Thank you, Doctor, for your effort. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 No nays? Meeting adjourned. Thank you
Have a
so
good
much.
trip back, sir.
Thank you, Councilman Lucero.
Thank you very much.
Have a great one.